poppin', my peeps? How's it going? So today we're gonna talk all about the Ninja V and is it worth it for your mirrorless or DSLR camera? Let's get it going. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why I purchased the Ninja V, and then also we're going to do a image quality comparison between the internal A6300 footage and the external Ninja V footage. Right now, I'm currently shooting on the Sony A6300. I'm actually recording this with the Ninja V externally. I'm recording in ProRes 422, as opposed to the XAVC 420 image that the Sony records. Now, I'm not going to go too far in depth about what's the difference between 422 and 420. There's a great video by Gerald Undone that you can watch. I'll leave a link down in the description below. That dude is just a human full of knowledge. I highly recommend you go check him out. Basically, to make it short and sweet, there's just a little bit more color information in a 422 file compared to a 420 file. So being able to shoot in ProRes 422, I mean, yes, that is an added benefit, but that's not the reason for why I purchased this monitor. I'm coming from this FeelWorld 5-inch monitor. It's a great monitor for what it is. It's cheap. It has some great functions, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted in a monitor, especially for client videos. I mean, in here in the studio when I record these YouTube videos, this thing is great. It's awesome. And if that's all you're doing, I think this is a great monitor. However, for me, I do a lot of video production, music videos, weddings, commercials, so I needed a better quality monitor. So I was looking at the Ninja V and some other monitors, but the biggest thing between the Ninja V and the other monitors is that this can record externally. Now, when I took that into consideration, I wasn't necessarily taking image quality into consideration, I was taking other things into consideration. Biggest thing is being able to shoot in ProRes. The biggest benefit to ProRes is that it actually retains a higher image quality, but it's a lot easier on your editing system. There's so many times where I'm editing like an MP4 video file and it lags, you know, especially in 4K. So ProRes is going to give me the ability to move a little bit faster in the edit. It's gonna make my workflow, my editing workflow, a lot more efficient. So that was a big benefit. And another thing is that these Sonys, especially this camera, has a pretty bad overheating problem. And since the Ninja V gives me the ability to externally record, well, that means that the camera has one less thing to do, which means it has less of a chance of overheating. There's also a 30-minute record limit on my camera, whereas the Ninja V doesn't have that, so I can just roll and not have to worry about that. We also did buy a V-mount battery plate, so we do have longer battery life, so I've kinda eliminated a lot of the overheating problems that this camera does have. Being able to record on an SSD compared to an SD. I mean, SSDs are actually a lot less expensive compared to an SD card. So this recorder, you can actually use SSD minis because it is smaller because it's a 5-inch monitor. You can still put the regular ones in there, but Atomos teamed up with like Angelbird and G Technology and Sony to make SSD minis so that it's not sticking out of the side so you don't bump it when you're recording. Real quick, I just want to Google price difference between an SSD and an SD. So an Angelbird SSD mini made for the Ninja V, 500 gigabytes is $200, and then an Angelbird SD card, 512 gigabytes, is $400. So SD cards are more expensive, so media is actually going to be cheaper with this thing. And that is a good thing because the files on the Ninja, they are larger than the files in my A6300. So those are pretty much the reasons why I went ahead and purchased the Ninja V, is because I needed a new monitor, and there's some great monitor functions on this monitor, and then also having the ability to externally record is just gonna make my workflow more efficient. I hope I hit everything. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I missed something, I don't know. So here's the thing, even though I knew I was gonna be recording at a higher codec, I didn't necessarily take into consideration image quality when I was purchasing this recorder. So the other day, I actually did a comparison between the Sony internal and the Ninja V external. And I was actually shocked, I was actually surprised, and I'm actually really excited to see the difference. Now I do wonder if when this goes up on YouTube, the compression is gonna kind of mess with it and you're not gonna see as big as a difference as I see. So if that is the case, I'll let you guys know in the comments, but I really am curious to see if there is that big of a difference, if you guys see that big of a difference when this gets uploaded on YouTube. Let's hop over to that comparison. I just wanna try a little test, kind of a comparison between the Sony A6300 and the Ninja V. On the A6300, shooting at 4K, 23.98 frames per second, 1/50th of a second, apertures at f2.4, ISO is native ISO for the camera, which is 800. I'm shooting in picture profile 7. There's no adjustments made, no nothing, just straight S-Log2 right out of the camera. So that information is being sent to the Ninja, and the Ninja is recording ProRes at a 422 compression. So this top layer right here is the Ninja 5, the bottom layer is the A6300. So this is with the Ninja on, and this is with the Ninja off. Ninja on, Ninja off. So there looks like there might be a little bit more of a magenta tinge to the Sony footage. That's just kind of a given. I've known that ever since I've been shooting on Sony. But also it looks like there's a little less contrast in the Sony image compared to the Ninja image. So now what I want to do is I want to apply a LUT that I created for my office, specifically for my office, and see if I can notice any difference here. So I'm just going to create an adjustment layer and go over to our color tab. So what I usually do is I go to my input LUT, I put a LUT on that I found online but I've manipulated a little bit. It's a S-Log to Rec 709 LUT. Alright, so that is on there. So that is just kind of like an S-Log to Rec 709 convert. Let's just look at the difference between the two here. Again, top layer is the Ninja 5, bottom layer is the A6300. I'm just going to toggle on and off the Ninja 5. So this is with the Ninja on, this is with the Ninja off. Ninja on, Ninja off. I'm already noticing a complete difference. Just the image in general looks a little bit more contrasty with the Ninja, and the Sony footage it looks a little bit more magenta. Like you can see it not only in the skin tones but in the overall image. That's the Ninja on, that's the Ninja off. All right, the next thing I would do is just apply the creative LUT that I created for the office, which is called Office under 2019. Office Rec 709. And I might just dial this back like 75%. Alright, again, let's toggle in between the two tracks. So this is with the Ninja on, this is with the Ninja off. This is with the Ninja on, this is with the Ninja off. I mean, just looking at these two images side by side, there's definitely a major difference in these colors. The difference in file size between these two is drastic. I mean, that Ninja 5 file is 1.58 gigabytes. The Sony file is only 383 megabytes. Obviously, the Ninja 5 recording in 422 as opposed to the Sony recording in 420, there is a little bit more color information there. Again, I hope that you can see the difference that I was seeing, but for me, there is a big difference in the colors there. I mean, Sony is known to not have the best color science, especially in the skin tones, but seeing the difference in color there, it gets me super stoked because the skin tones look better on the Ninja 5 than the Sony. So it's like I almost eliminated that skin tone problem that Sony has because I'm using the Ninja to externally record. I don't necessarily know if that's gonna be the case across all cameras. Now here's the thing with Sony is that none of the Sonys at this point can externally record 10-bit. You are seeing other camera manufacturers have the ability to do this to externally record 10-bit. Some are actually doing internal, like Fuji and Panasonic. So if you're looking at purchasing this recorder and your camera can record 10-bit externally at 422 in ProRes, I mean, that conversation is way different compared to buying this recorder for a Sony camera. Now, I did notice that the Ninja, it looks like it has a little bit more contrast. The blacks are deeper. So I am wondering if that means that there's less dynamic range on the Ninja. It is kind of hard to tell in this environment because it's not a high dynamic range environment. I would have to do some additional tests like outside and all that stuff. So maybe that is something I will do in the future. Also, another thing is I would like to try and mess around with some of my friends' A7 IIIs and compare the image from the Ninja V to the A7 III. I just gotta make sure that they're cool with that. I think that'd be interesting to see because I've seen stuff online and the comparison, I mean, it doesn't look much different. It looks pretty much the exact same. Something I'm gonna have to look further into. Needless to say, I honestly was kind of shocked. I didn't think there was gonna be that big of a difference. The colors look richer, the skin tones look better, the blacks are a little bit deeper, there's a little bit more contrast. It just looks cleaner. Overall, it looks like a more final image. I actually posted a screenshot of the split screen on Twitter and I did a poll, and I wanted to see which side people liked better, but the only thing is I didn't specify which side was shot on the Ninja and which side was shot on the A6300. And by no surprise, the Ninja won by a landslide. 84% of people voted for the Ninja, 16% voted for the Sony. So clearly people could see the difference. And that was uploading something onto Twitter, so Twitter does compress it a little bit, so I am, again, curious to see how YouTube compresses this. So, I mean, you know, what do you guys think? Like, can you see a difference? If you can see a difference, which I hope you can, which do you like better? Do you like the Ninja or do you like the Sony? Let me know in the comments below. I think that's all that I wanted to talk about today. There's a lot that I could talk about with this recorder, and there's probably a lot that I will talk about in the future videos. But for now, I think this is good. I think this comparison's good to go. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this video, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, smash that keyboard, subscribe if you aren't already, ring that bell, and stay hungry. Peace. Boston Bobby here. What the is up? How's it going? Huh? Just want to say hello. I'll see you soon.